Welcome to the most anticipated list of 2018. This list will be pretty full and hopefully give you not only an idea of what I'm looking forward to, but hopefully give you a good idea of some of the upcoming films that you might not know about or that you're looking forward to. I'm sorry I'm really late on my videos. I've been sick. Probably still sound sick. I'm still working on my best and worst films list of 2017. Hope to get those done soon, but 2018 is here, so let's jump right into this list. Some quick mentions that didn't really make my very detailed list, but I still just wanted to mention Rampage, which is an adaptation of the classic arcade game. This is a video game movie, and we all know how great those are. I don't even think The Rock's going to save this one. Aquaman is coming out, and to be honest, I really don't care all that much about DC. They've really done nothing but subpar films outside of Wonder Woman. That's a separate topic, and I'll talk about that on my best list. Aquaman may surprise me, but I know better than to get my hopes up for any DC movies at this point. The Current War has an all-star cast of characters, which I'll put over here, and is about Thomas Edison and electricity, and of course you can't really have a story about Edison and electricity without having Tesla. Ocean's 8. I love Ocean's 11. Ocean's 8 is apparently going to be a movie. This one is a cast of exclusively females. Hopefully it won't be like 2016's Ghostbusters, which was not a movie at all. It just wasn't. We're getting a new Predator movie titled The Predator. Pretty original. Could be a throwaway film like the previous ones. I don't know. I'm excited about this one simply because Shane Black is directing and he has helmed some great movies recently. This one could bring these films back to the chopper. New Mutants is an X-Men horror film that looks pretty good. I'm a huge X-Men fan, so I know all these obscure characters that probably a lot of people really don't. This would be higher on my list, but I'm not really into horror movies. I'll be watching this, however. I think it's kind of cool they're trying to use these characters in a new genre like horror. Another movie that did not make my list, Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, a sequel to a film I forgot during the post-flick piss session. The highlight of this original was getting to surprise hate Johnny Depp as a villain. This guy is just so recognizable, it completely took me out of the film altogether. To me, he was miscast from the beginning and may have sunk this entire franchise before it even really got off the ground. While I love the period setting and I'm always interested in getting a new take, I don't really expect to see much from this sequel. I'm waiting to see the trailer before I completely kill all hope. So here it is, my core list of 20 anticipated films of 2018. Coming in at number 20 is Mowgli. Disney had an amazing Jungle Book adaptation in 2016 that came out of nowhere to stun audiences. This is not a sequel to that. In a bold move, Warner Brothers has snatched the story and ran with it, casting Andy, my precious Serkis, to headline as the Baloo, the lovable bear. While I don't have much interest in it, it is hard to immediately disqualify any movie that has the master of motion capture in it, Andy Serkis. I knew this is meant to have a darker tone, so it may really surprise me. Coming in at number 19, Red Sparrow. Red Sparrow looks like the producers of John Wick and Salt did shots together and made a bet to see if they could mix both worlds. Jennifer Lawrence is cast as a sparrow, which seems to be the kind of high-priced escort who charges extra to murder you at the end of the night. There's Russian and CIA involvements, double agents, and conflicts of loyalty. Basically the 2016 election, but with more camera work. Tone and style definitely has me interested, but I'd like to see a bit more before I agree to be killed in a hotel room. Haha, Happy Time Murders! A movie stuck in development hell about a Muppet serial killer in a world where they coexist with humans. Just saying that out loud gave me a reason to wake up screaming in the middle of the night. This film seems to give a slight nod to Who Framed Roger Rabbit before firmly planting a foot deeply into the butt of childhood innocence. Details include the serial murder of the cast of an 80s themed show called Happy Time Gang, and is about a disturbed Muppet investigator tracking down his brother's killer. I'll give the film a pass on casting Melissa McCarthy, who I've grown to dislike greatly over the last few years, but that is only because Brian Henson is directing this. Jim Henson's son, the son of the man who invented Muppets, is making a murder mystery of Muppet murder. Say that 3 times fast. Number 17, First Man, a biopic about the first moon landing. While I don't want to spoil anything, I can confidently say that everyone may get back home safely. Damien Chazelle is directing, which is excellent because his previous movie, Whiplash, was downright amazing. Really hoping he can crank up the emotional scenes to the maximum, especially since Ryan Gosling is lead as Neil Armstrong. Remind us all why we all pretended to be astronauts as kids. Mortal Engines. Steampunk Mad Max in a post-apocalyptic world of giant moving cities. This plot looks like something exploded at the Screenwriters Guild, and this is what was pulled out of the fire. A short trailer gives almost nothing to go on. There are people fighting for resources, people are upset, and absolutely everything looks like you could get hepatitis just from standing near it. Looks like a Waterworld universe minus all the water. It's just glorious. Hugo Weaving and Stephen Lang are the stars, along with Robert Sheehan from the British side of the aisle. And somehow Peter Jackson is involved, which pushes this entire production into a huge box of labeled must-see. As long as Jackson doesn't go full Hobbit and stretch a film into 16 hours, never go full Hobbit. A Wrinkle in Time. Seeing this trailer gave me flashbacks to 5th grade book reports. While I barely remember the story, I have some hazy memories of a 2003 made-for-TV movie that may have actually caused a studio exec to cry in shame. Having said that, the cast for this is stunning. Reese Witherspoon, Zach Galifianakis, that's how I'm going to say his name, Michael Pena, Chris Pine, and Oprah. You get a movie, and you get a movie, Winfrey. With that kind of lineup, this film is going to be insanely awesome. Or a Batman Forever bombshell. Disney's Chronicles of Narnia movies were some of my favorite movies, and if Wrinkle in Time can pull that kind of feeling, I would forgive a lot. Plot-wise, it seems like Chris Pine plays a wayward father lost in time and space, and it is up to his genius daughter to locate him using the power of CGI. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Evangeline Lilly in a superhero costume is everything right in this world. Throw in Lawrence the Red Pill Fishburne as supporting character, and I would fight at least 2 small children to see this movie. Since this will be released later in this year, we know next to nothing about the plot, but this will be following his escape from the raft in Captain America Civil War. I have no idea how Infinity War is going to affect Ant-Man. Well, I liked the first Ant-Man movie, had some missed opportunities, and felt like a weak Marvel entry. Looking forward to them expanding a bit in the sequel. See what I did there? Pacific Rim 2. Giant robots punching giant monsters. Just hearing that idea makes money fly out of my wallet. It's a setup for a movie that requires absolutely zero thought while forgiving plot holes so large you could Jaeger bomb through them. It's a throwback to an age before Michael Bay started shredding $100 bills for kitty litter. We get to watch human actors with personalities use robots to push a film instead of the other way around. Now Pacific Rim 2, Rim Job, kicks off a decade later with John Boyega as the next generation of monster fighters. There are cool new robot designs, a monster that looks interesting, and higher stakes than a herd of cow grazing at a hemp farm. I beg of you people, let's go watch this movie and not Grown Ups 2 like you did in 2013. The first Creed was a gut-punchingly good flick. Michael B. Jordan, no relation to Michael Air Jordan, did a great job as Apollo Creed's son. But it was Sylvester Stallone that really packed the surprise. Who knew a man could take that many hits to the face and still pull off an amazing late career performance? Now with the upcoming Creed 2, with arms wide open, we get to see the son of Creed taking on the man who killed him, Ivan Drago. Which is odd because the last time I cheered for a 20-year-old to beat up an octogenarian was at the buffet line at Golden Corral. Looking forward to see Dolph Lundgren throw up some hands while Adonis struggles to live up to his father's legacy. Solo, a Star Wars story. The film is already on its 3rd director, and I'm pretty sure Kathleen Kennedy is cracking under a fan load of pressure. Save us, Ron Howard. You're our only hope. Likewise, casting Eldon Enrich. He's playing Han Solo. I've seen Halloween Mask that looks more like Han Solo, and the fact you've already stuck him with an acting coach.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
At least Donald Glover is Lando, and someone threw in Emilia Clarke as a bonus. I'd watch her in anything. I'm holding out hope for the rebellion, but I can already see the Imperial Disney cruiser closing in. Brrr. Annihilation. A movie adaptation of a book I haven't read. It's going to be a great start. Jumping into a film is a rough ride for the source material, however. The trailer for this actually seems alright. Natalie Portman stars as a biologist slash romantic partner for the sole survivor of a mysterious expedition to a shimmer zone. I don't think that's what they call it in the movie. I'm calling it a shimmer zone because that's what it looks like. Most of us in that situation would just update our Facebook status to horrifically single. She decides to gear up and explore some biological alternatives in another dimension. Isn't that great? The movie looks unique, tense, and creepy as hell. Everything seems to be mutating or evolving constantly. I'll be sure to see it with an extra bottle of hand sanitizer. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Jeff Goldblum is back, and he's tired of all these freaking dinos on this freaking island. He was the best part of the original film. This trailer seems to have him yelling in a courtroom a lot. It would be a major wasted opportunity to keep him there. There are some really cool action shots in this, and a singular blend of animatronic and CGI Fallen Kingdom definitely nails the Jurassic Park feeling, but then the trailer takes like a hard left turn into Transformers territory. Everything is exploding on fire, or on fire while exploding. Hopefully someone puts the brakes on this Velociraptor before it goes off the sequel cliff. The trailer might not have gotten me on board, but you can bet that I will never miss a Jurassic Park film. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The alternative title for this was More Spiders Than You Can Swat. Just recently I had a chance to see a trailer for this, and this is a rather unique style, a little throwback to the MTV version of Spider-Man with the animation and the CGI mixed. However, time and a bigger budget than a music video has produced some actual results. In a good move, they appear to have whacked the wall crawler and focused instead on Miles Morales, a character from the Marvel Universe, once known as the Ultimate Universe. Miles is trying to step into the clingy boots of Spider-Man after the death of Peter Parker. This film brings in alternate versions of Spider-Man from different comic book series, including Peter Parker of the normal Marvel Universe, as well as Spider-Man 29 and various other Spider-Mans. It could be a sleeper hit, might be a tangled web. With almost a year to go, I'm sure the marketing will get spun out on this. Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2, or Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. I get a little concerned when a movie title has more punctuation than a text message. Definitely could have truncated that title. The first Wreck-It Ralph blew theaters out in 2012 and was a smash hit that delighted everyone. It was colorful and heartfelt without slumming through the pop culture gutter. I'm looking at you. The closest thing I compare this to is also Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and that was 30 years ago. The field is wide open on this one. So far, it looks like the plot of Ralph 2 The Reckoning involves bursting through a Wi-Fi router to track down a missing Sugar Rush part somewhere on the internet. Look out for appearances from most of the Disney princesses, as well as Marvel, superheroes, Star Wars characters, and of course more video game characters. Sounds interesting, but I really hope the audience doesn't point and yell every single cameo like they did when I saw that first movie. Let's just pray that missing game piece didn't land on 4chan somewhere. Black Panther. Since the moment Stark told Captain America his shield was made of vibranium, I was on board with the idea of Black Panther. I just never thought the studios would go for the idea. A rich, powerful monarch from an African country with technology that makes the iPhone look like iToast. That's about 3 steps past the comfort line for a movie executive. Wakanda is like Atlantis or El Dorado. The entire nation of Wakanda is the kind of pipe dream written into comics by lazy authors. Seeing it fully fleshed out from the perspective of a young king after his father's death, that's how you bury yourself in Oscars. I'm ripe to see political intrigue, adventure, and gut-wrenching betrayal. With the director of Creed behind the wheel, I'm willing to float some advanced hope. This failed barge won't sink. It's strange how Marvel Universe keeps mixing in fresh talent but somehow nailing the flavor of a Marvel film. X-Men Dark Phoenix. The entire X-Men franchise has been a Ferris wheel of incredible highs followed by weird experiments and new ways to fail. Dark Phoenix will be the 20th Century Fox last stab at the core X-Men franchise before Disney eats the company alive. Now they're struggling under a ton of expectations, but not a lot of faith they can pull it off. 18 years ago, the X-Men films kicked off this entire superhero film streak, but since then, Fox has really delivered some awful stinkers. The crowning turd was the X3 entry, a film so rotten copies of it are quietly fertilizing crops in Kansas. Of course, that's not to be outdone. The X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is now being cannibalized by the sentient Atari ET cartridges that hide in the landfill. Hopefully the Phoenix can redeem that legacy. Apocalypse has missed opportunities in my mind. I did enjoy that, the new cast of characters it brought in to fill the shoes of Cyclops, Jean Storm, and Nightcrawler. And I've always loved Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy in their roles as the younger Xavier and Magneto. With a release date set in November, perhaps we will have something wonderful to consume on Thanksgiving. Deadpool 2. After the Wolverine Origins movie almost destroying the idea of enjoying films, Ryan Reynolds obviously had to sell his soul to make Deadpool. And even though the studio cut his budget so low they had to rent guns from local gang members, in the end, Deadpool came out on top. A surprise blockbuster hit that spoke to studio execs in the only language they know, money. The end credits of the first film name-dropped Cable into the franchise and then actually delivered with Josh Brolin. Toss in time-traveling Cable and Domino as a look-altering badass. All that says to me is that Deadpool 2 is going to be a fun watch. Ready Player One. Years ago I devoured this novel like I had a bet to die of fiber poisoning. It was so obviously going to be a movie, I made the first trailer for it. Click in the link below. Click Click down there if you want to see it. When the movie was officially announced and Spielberg stepped in as director, I had to run to the mirror to make sure I wasn't having a stroke. The story and premise were so insanely good that I almost want to overhype this. However, watching the first trailer really gave me concerns. It kind of seems like someone fell asleep at an organ harvesting clinic. Huge chunks of the plot are missing. Hopefully they don't pull a Frankenstein and try and stitch the pieces together and just let it lurch around. Of course, some of it is really to be expected when you're turning a novel into a feature film. I just need to try and manage my expectations going into it, but obviously I'm not really doing a good job as this is crazy high on my anticipated list. Incredibles 2. Pixar's first movie about superheroes trying to live normal lives while super cheating on their relationship was absolutely incredible. Yeah, see what I did there? It was a comment on family values, a caution about temptation, and just a circus of fun. My enthusiasm for this sequel is the kind of stuff that gets people banned from the comment section. All the voice actors are back, and even Brad Bird returns as director. He made The Iron Giant, one of my favorite films. From what I can tell, Incredibles 2 picks up immediately after the end of the first movie, hopefully right from this awesome lead-in to the family-size beatdown. Go.
Behold the Underminer! I am always beneath you, but nothing is beneath me!
Here it is, number 1, of course, Avengers Infinity War. Show me someone who doesn't have Infinity War on their list, and I will show you a guy who never hunted Stan Lee like a wild deer. The Marvel Universe is now 19 entries deep, and except for one Ant-Man sized stumble, they're really showing very little signs of wear. The hype is real. They planted the seed of Thanos way back in the first Avengers, then settled back on the throne and patiently watered it with fan tears. Now the time has come and we're going to taste the awesome nerd-flavored fruit. Like Palpatine in the Senate, our boy Thanos has been quietly growing into a dark power, and now it's time to watch him scrub the floor with a few heroes, tearing down everything we know about the Marvel films so far on a grand scale. Thanos will be on the hunt for all of the Infinity Stones that have been introduced throughout the entire run of these films, beginning with Captain America back in 2011. I sincerely hope they can walk the line between action and the need to toss jokes in, because Ragnarok really suffered from blurring that line a bit too much in my mind. But I have no doubt that the Russo brothers will get the Marvel tone back on track. Can't wait to see this. That's my list. What are you looking forward to this year? Let me know. If you like this video and want to see more, please subscribe or like, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geek264 and I'll always tell you the truth.